All right, let's get into it. If you've ever stood in a supplement aisle just staring at these giant tubs of powder, totally overwhelmed, or you've been in the gym and felt lost in all the conflicting advice, then this explainer is for you. We're going to cut right through all that noise and get to the real, evidence-based science of what actually builds muscle. We're going to build a smarter approach together. Let's do this.
So, what's the big secret, right? Is it all about chugging those expensive protein shakes, or is it just the hard work, the push-ups, the squats, the lifting? Well, it turns out that's kind of the wrong question to be asking. The real magic isn't about choosing one or the other. It's all about understanding how they have to work together.
You've got to think of it like a partnership, a completely non-negotiable duo. See, on one side you have the stimulus, that's your workout, the actual resistance training. And on the other side you have the building blocks, and that's your protein. One just cannot do its job without the other. It's that simple.
Look at it this way. If you hit the gym and do all the right exercises, but you don't give your body enough protein, guess what? Your gains are going to be super limited. And on the flip side, you could eat all the protein in the world, but it won't do much if you're not doing resistance training. It's like exercise is the foreman on a construction site, shouting the orders, hey, we need to build a new wall right here. But the protein, that's just the truckload of bricks. If the foreman never gives the order, those bricks just sit there, doing nothing.
Okay, so we're all on the same page. We need protein. But how much? This is where things get really confusing for a lot of people, mostly because the standard advice you hear all the time was actually designed for a totally different reason.
I'm sure you've probably seen this number before, 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. That's the official recommended dietary allowance, the RDA. But here's the thing you absolutely have to understand. The RDA is the bare minimum you need just to not get sick, to prevent a deficiency. It was never, ever meant to be the optimal amount for actually building muscle.
So, the real sweet spot, based on a huge meta-analysis by a guy named Morton and his colleagues, they looked at over 1,800 people, is about double that RDA. It's 1.6 grams per kilogram per day. This is the point where, for most people who are lifting weights, the muscle-building benefits of protein just plateau. Any more protein beyond this point doesn't really lead to any more muscle.
So what does that 1.6 grams per kilogram actually look like in real life? Well, if you're a 160-pound person, you're aiming for about 117 grams of protein a day. Weigh 200 pounds? You're looking at around 146 grams. See? The whole point is to take the science and turn it into a practical target you can actually hit.
All right, let's talk about the next huge topic, timing. We've all heard about the anabolic window, right? That supposedly magical, super short time frame right after a workout where you have to slam a protein shake. So, what's the real story? What does the science today actually say about it?
So the old myth was all about this crazy narrow 1-hour window. And man, the panic was real. People would be sprinting from the squat rack to the locker room. But modern science has really cleared things up. For most of us, the total amount of protein you eat over the whole day is way more important for long-term growth than the exact minute you eat it after a workout. That window's much, much wider than we ever thought.
And listen, this is a really crucial but. For older adults, the story completely changes. As we get older, our muscles can get less responsive to protein. It's a thing called anabolic resistance. You can think of it like your muscles are getting a little hard of hearing. Protein is trying to tell them to grow, but they just can't hear the messages clearly. And because of that, timing suddenly becomes critical again.
There's this fascinating study from 2001 that just highlights this perfectly. They took a group of elderly men, average age of 74, and had them do resistance training for 12 weeks. Simple enough. But one group got a protein supplement immediately after their workout, and the other group got the exact same supplement, but they had to wait 2 hours to drink it.
And the results were just astonishing. The group that got their protein right away saw a pretty significant 7% increase in their quad muscle area. Awesome. But the group that waited just 2 hours, they saw virtually zero muscle growth. Let that sink in for a second. They did the exact same exercises for 12 straight weeks, but because they delayed their protein, they got almost no benefit at all. For this group, that anabolic window is very, very real.
Okay, so we've covered how much, and we've covered when it's most critical. Now let's talk about how to eat that protein throughout the day, because optimizing your habits here can give you a really significant edge.
Check this out. This number is incredible. Research found that you can boost your 24-hour muscle protein synthesis rate, that's just the fancy science term for the process of building new muscle, by 25%. And the best part? You do it not by eating more protein, but just by changing how you eat the protein you're already having.
So how do you get that 25% boost? Well, the strategy is actually super simple. Instead of having, a little bit of protein for breakfast and then this gigantic steak for dinner, you just spread it out evenly. Try to eat every 3 to 4 hours and aim for about 20 to 30 grams of protein each time you eat. This gives your muscles a steady stream of building blocks all day long.
And hey, here's one more pro tip for you. Pre-sleep protein. The research shows that having about 20 to 40 grams of a slow-digesting protein, think casein, which is found in stuff like cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, right before bed can actually keep that muscle-building process going even while you're asleep. It's a pretty easy way to maximize your efforts.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here. The what, the when, and the how. So let's bring it all together into a few simple, powerful truths you really can't ignore. These are basically the universal truths of building muscle. First, there's a clear target to shoot for, right around 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight. Second, that plateau effect is real. Just shoveling in more protein past that point won't build more muscle. Third, how you spread that protein out really matters. Aim for even doses all day long. And finally, the most important rule of all, exercise is the non-negotiable catalyst that kicks this whole process off.
So, the crucial point, the one thing to take away from all of this, is that exercise creates the demand. It's the signal, it's the architect's blueprint that tells your body, hey, it's time to build bigger, stronger muscles. All the protein in the world is just a pile of unused bricks without that command to start construction. So now you have the scientific roadmap. The only question left is, are you putting in the work where it actually counts? Are you building in the kitchen with smart nutrition and in the living room or the gym with consistent, challenging exercise?